Hello, I am DeBomb. This is a girl named Cameron, and this is Preacher Man. For our first project, we created an oil-absorbing vacuum. So, over 1.3 million gallons of petroleum are dumped into our U.S. waters every year. And a huge oil spill such as the BP oil spill back in 2010, that could double or even triple these numbers. So, and really there's no environmentally friendly way to clean up these spills. The three main ways is with one, booms and skimmers. Booms are pretty much just giant pool noodles that they use to corral all the oil. And skimmers are little boats with sponges on the bottom of them. And they go across the oil and they soak them up, except for the sponges are not reusable, and honestly they don't work all that well. They don't pick up all of it, and they only pick up like 75%. The next way is just leave the oil alone. And that obviously isn't a great idea because oil and water don't mix. And so then that just hurts the environment, hurts the animals in the water, and ends up on our beaches and everything, and it's just not a good idea. Next one is called in situ burning. That's where they just catch all the oil on fire, and it just goes up into the ozone, hurts the animals and the wildlife. It's just not very environmentally friendly.
Okay, so this is a solution we're proposing, and I'm just going to briefly mention these before we actually get into the product. So right here we have the oil absorbing sponge. You can see it works really, really well. And then on this side we have what is called the sea bin. And basically it's just a bucket that will filter in the seawater and it takes out the garbage, so it just kind of separates them. Okay, so our product, this is the working title. It's the oil absorbing vacuum. So this will combine the technology of the sea bin, but instead of using just a net for the liner, we're actually going to create our own liner using the design of the frag sleeve, and instead of putting in like steel or some kind of metal to make it explosive, we are going to be using these oil absorbing sponges and inserting those into like the little pockets of the frag sleeve. So what's great about this is you can just take out the liner, rinse it out, and it just takes out all the oil. And these little sponges, they can actually absorb up to 100 times their weight in oil. And they can be reused up to 100 times, which is a lot better than like the skimmers, which can be used like one time, I think. So this design is great because it's reusable, it's environmentally friendly, and it's a lot faster than the traditional methods. But not only that, with this method, we would have the potential to save a lot more oil. So if like on average, 1.3 million gallons get spilled every year, I think it's like 10 to 15% in most cases is actually saved. So with this, we would have the potential to save so much more oil. So not only would it be good for the environment, it would also be really good for the economy as well.
Okay. Moving on to our second product. So this is also a working title, but we're going to call it Hot Cups. So I'm going to explain the product, and then I'm going to go into what we could potentially use it for. So this is going to be our design. So we do like the regular disposable cups that you can use to insulate the heat and keep it trapped in. But we kind of want to shake it up a little bit. So over here you see kind of this tab being pulled. We're going to call it the zipper tab, but we want to put that on disposable cups in order to kind of tie in that thermo targeting together. So we want to keep the same cup design, but when you pull off the tab, those chemicals are going to react using that oxygen, and then it's going to heat the cup up to whatever we kind of want it to be heated up to. So whatever product we want to use it for. So the two main products that we're working on right now in this early development is going to be coffee and food. So I'm going to start with coffee. So actually America itself is the #1 consumption of coffee in the whole entire world. So we consume over 400 million cups of coffee a day, which is actually like 75 million more than there are people. So the average person consumes 1.6 cups per day. It's an $18 billion market, and there are 24,000 coffee shops across the United States. So coffee is just this very big market that has a lot to do with it, and right now it's becoming more and more fast-paced as we develop in the coffee. One thing that you see here is Starbucks is trying to move towards this instant coffee idea, but you have to have the hot water in order to use their product. So this would just be a direct like kind of competition or fix to bring this like instant coffee idea together with those big products. So coffee and also hot tea is going to be our first one. And then also food. So we started to look overseas, and 25% developed companies do not have electricity. Have the breakdown right here. So Africa, obviously being the first big country that just does not have electricity, like 57% does not have electricity, and then also nationwide power outages. So we feel like stuff like macaroni or hot soup, things that you need microwaves for, you need electricity, this hot cup could be something that fills in that gap. So people who are at war that can't get to hot meals and stuff, you just pull that tab, we have the water in it and it warms it, and those meals will be ready for you. So those are our two products so far. So thanks for listening.
All right, thanks.